Hi, and welcome to this planner session. I'm Hanne and I work as a product owner in itslearning.
My name is Andreas. I'm a UX designer in itslearning.
And we are here to talk about a major update to the itslearning planner. We are inviting you to a sneak peek session so that you can see what's new and what's been updated. We will share our ideas and goals, but we also want you to understand why we are introducing these changes. And please bear in mind that this is work in progress. I can guarantee that there will be made changes to some of the designs that you will see today. We aim to start piloting the new planner around March next year, and this pilot will only be available for some schools. But we will release the new planner to all customers for next back to school. So during the summer of 2021, it should be available to all of you. So let's have a look at our agenda. We will start with our existing planner and talk a bit about the feedback we have received from teachers and students. We will compare our old and new planner so that you can understand both why and how we want to improve it. We are also introducing a new feature to our planner because we want teachers to be able to collaborate across courses and create common plans, which is not possible today. And then Andreas is going to give you a demo for how that can work. And even though we have started to implement the new planner, we have not ended our research. We still need to talk to teachers and students, and we still want to learn how we can make it easier for you to both create plans, use plans, share plans, etc. And if some of you would like to test the new planner, you will be able to participate in a small usability test in the end of this session. We will share a link with you in the chat, and it will only take a couple of minutes to test it. So, what is the planner? Well, we know the planner is one of the most powerful and popular tools in itslearning, and that's why we often call it the heart of itslearning. When I was preparing for this session, I contacted a high school teacher in Norway. And this teacher is an experienced itslearning user, and she has participated in several usability tests. And I have to say that I always find it interesting to discuss with her. I learn a lot. And I know that this high school teacher is using the planner in all her courses. So I asked her why she's using the planner. And this teacher, she told me that she's using the planner because it provides structure for both teachers and students. By using plans, she can give context to the task she has assigned to her students so that they will know not only what to do, but how to do it, and maybe also why they should do it. And the planner makes it easy for her to plan ahead, but also allows her and her students to look back and use the plans as an archive. Her students can access information about past lessons, and this could help them when studying for a test, or it could help them if they have been sick. They always know where to find relevant information because she's always using the planner. And this teacher also mentioned that plan saves teachers time, because she's able to reuse her plans and copy them to other courses. In addition, she emphasized that the planner is flexible. She can use the same tool in different ways. This teacher is teaching different subjects, English and German, and she can't use the same structure in both of her courses. For instance, she's not using topics in her German course, but in her English course, she's always using it. And because the planner is flexible, she's able to do different things in different courses. But it is still in the same system, and her students see it the same way and in the same place. And because of these benefits, which also echoes feedback we have received from many other teachers, the planner is a popular tool. When we checked the usage of the planner a year ago, 63% of all teachers were using the planner, which is a really high number. So why are we then changing it? Well, even though we are aware of the many benefits of the planner, we also know that some teachers struggle to learn how to start using the planner. And Andreas, I know that you as an UX designer also want to emphasize that the planner looks a bit outdated. And the fact that some teachers struggle is something we have heard more rapidly during the last year. In the same period, we saw an increasing usage of the planner for both teachers and students. More teachers are using our planner and they create more plans. And this increase is of course related to the COVID-19 situation. More teachers need to offer online education to support education continuity when attending school is not an option. And some of these schools report that new teachers often find it hard to use our planner, and they want us to make it easier for their teachers to create plans. So this means that we have some teachers that loves our planner and find that plans are a good way to show their students what's coming up. Then again, we have teachers that have tried to use our planner but gave it up. And in some schools, we find a mix of both kinds of teachers. And often this could result in frustrated students that are complaining about the fact that no teachers are using itslearning in the same way. And the team has spent a lot of time trying to understand how different teachers are using our planner today. But at the same time, we have also tried to figure out what teachers or what you want us to change and how you and your students want the planner to work. Maybe some of you have participated in an itslearning happiness survey last year. In this survey, you were able to tell us how you find our planner, and we received lots of feedback, both positive and negative comments. All your comments were read and categorized, and it gave us relevant and important insight so that we learned not only what you liked, but also what changes you want for our planner. And to learn more, we got access to itslearning customer sites in Norway, US, the Netherlands, Germany, Denmark, and Sweden, and analyzed, nearly 100 courses. And we had a design sprint, we threw a workshop, and we talked to schools and teachers in different countries. And many, many teachers have also showed us their courses and plans in itslearning, which we think is great. And based on all these insights, we came up with a new concept for our planner and made the first of many prototypes so that we could start testing it with real users. Multiple teachers and students have tested different concepts, but we are far from done. This is still work in progress, and there are still some remaining questions. We had a couple of usability tests last week, and more tests are planned for the upcoming weeks. But I guess we can say that the top pain points of the planner are that teachers don't think the planner provides a clear overview and is cumbersome to use. Teachers get confused and frustrated about how plans are sorted. Teachers want plans to be better displayed on the course overview. And teachers think the planner layout isn't optimal. Based on these pain points, we came up with some goals for our new planner. Simplify the planner by reducing the number of clicks and options, provide a more visually appealing and less cluttered overview, and give teachers and students a better view of progression. So, Andreas, maybe you want to explain and show us how we try to meet those goals.
Yes, I will. And first, I want to talk about what we have learned about teachers' experience of the planner. I'll go through some of the feedback and issues we have seen with the old planner, and then show how the new planner will work. First off is the plans page. It's the heart of the planner, where teachers will create their plans and organize it for their students. It's very important for us that the planner is easy to use, but some of the feedback we have gotten is on the contrary, and they say that the planner is cumbersome to use. And as a designer, that's very sad to hear, and that's, of course, something we want to change. One of the key pain points we have heard is that some teachers find it hard to find their past or upcoming plans because they don't realize the plans are filtered. It's also hard to find specific plans, especially having many plans in your course. That is in part because the view of the plans are very text heavy and not that engaging. One other thing we have heard is that the plans page in general feels cluttered and has too many options. When creating plans in a new course, the teacher has to create a topic before actually creating a plan. This is one too many steps in our opinion to create content for the students. It also means the teacher has to use topics straight away, even though they, for instance, just wanted to create a draft or test the planner tool. We have also heard that the sorting of newly created plans is confusing and often results in the teacher trying to manually sort the plans themselves or simply not finding the plans they just created. Using topics in a planner is a great way of organizing your plans into chapters or subjects or even as a time frame. We have seen a lot of use of this feature, and we think it's very important for both teachers and students to find the plans. Some of the feedback we have gotten regarding topics is quite similar to plans in general, such as finding a topic could be difficult and confusing. Maybe creating plans within a topic can sometimes be hard. When you look at this page, there are actually no button for creating plans. And this makes it confusing for especially new users to understand where to go. And these are some feedback we want to solve with the new planner. And now I want to show you how we want to solve this. So this is a demo of our new planner. In this demo, I'm a teacher, high school teacher called Lisa, and I'm the main teacher in the course Natural Science. When I go into the course, I can see my plans, current plans in the course. And one of the things we wanted to solve with the new planner was to improve the view of the plan, both for teachers and students. And this is a plan card that gives both the teacher and student an overview of the content in the plan. We also wanted to make this view more visually appealing by giving space for an image or illustration. And one of the major benefits of this view is that we can reuse these cards in, for example, calendar events or other places in itslearning. And this way, the plans are recognizable for all users. As you see, this plan is about the atmosphere. This is a plan my course is working on right now. As you can see, it's a current plan. When I click this plan, I will open up the plan to see all of its content. On the left, we have the more general information about the plan, such as the title, the date, and the topic connected to this plan. One thing we have added, which currently is in the task tool and assignment, is a way for teachers to assign the plan to a specific selection of students or groups in the course. On the right, we have the same sections we have in the old planner. One thing we have added here is a way for the teacher to see a progression of the students. In this case, I have a assignment called atmospheric phenomena, and I can see that 12 out of 22 of my students have completed this assignment. This is, of course, already available in 360 reports, but we wanted to give teachers this overview within the plan to make it easier to get a sense of how your students are doing. When I take a look at the plans page, it has changed quite a lot. One of the things we wanted to achieve with the new planner was to simplify and in general clean up the page. As I showed you earlier, we have a new view for the plans. This way we can give both teachers and students a good overview and also present enough information to understand what the plans are about. For instance, in this plan, I can see that the plan contains 4 resources and activities and is worked on this week. The biggest change on this page is that we have simplified the navigation. And this is because we want it easier to find the plans. As you can see, we are now in the current tab, where all the current and upcoming plans are displayed. Both current and past are sorted by date, and these tabs are also automatically sorted. For instance, in current tab, the plans at the top is either the current plan that students are working on right now, or the upcoming next plans. So this, for instance, is next Tuesday, this plan starts. For instance, in the past tab, the plans are sorted by the most recent plan at the top. Meaning I can see the last plan we worked on in this class. And one of the big advantages to automatically sort the plans by date is that I don't have to search or scroll plans that are, for example, in the middle of the semester. So this will greatly increase, make it easier for teachers and students to find their plans. When I take a look at this plan from August, I could check if the students are finished with the resources in this plan. And I see this assignment is completed by all my students. I could, for instance, deactivate the whole plan if I wanted to, or deactivate a specific resource. And this is to make it easier for teachers to control their content quickly without having to go into the resource every time. We also think that the teachers should be able to deactivate the plan with a time limit based on the date. And this is the feature we have similar to assignment tool, where you can schedule the visibility of the plan. On the right, you can see that we have a search for plans, which is a great way of finding a specific plan quickly. And we know that many users are used to navigating or finding content with a search. So we want to include this also in the new planner. So if I want to create a plan, we also have looked into if we can improve the experience of creating content and in the planner. And we want to give the teachers a cleaner interface when creating plans with less distractions and almost like a blank sheet of paper. As you can see, this is an empty plan with no content, but adding content is quite similar to what we have today. But we believe that by improving the view, we think that it's much more enjoyable for teachers and much easier to concentrate on the content. We have also changed how topics works in the new planner. As you can see here, I can choose to add a topic to the plan, but I'm not bound to connect it to a topic. So if, for instance, I don't want to add this to a topic, I don't need to. And this is to make it easier for teachers to create plans, especially in new courses. In this example, I want to add a topic to this plan, or I want to connect it to a topic. I can simply click here and I can see all the topics connected to my course. I can also choose to create a new topic if this was something new I was working on. In this case, I want to add it to Our Earth. One key change to creating plans, which we have gotten a lot of feedback about, is the ability to is that the new plans is by default invisible for your students. We want the teachers to be comfortable to actually create content here without having to, for example, quickly make the plan inactive before the student sees it. And we have heard stories of teachers creating content without knowing that the plan is visible for the students. So this is a key change to how we envision creating plans in the new planner will be. So when I create the plan, I can see that the plan is automatically sorted by date, as it is an upcoming plan for next Monday, and then the plan after is from Tuesday. Topics is also something we have worked on to make it easier to organize your plans. It now functioning more like a folder where you can put your plans in, as well as information relevant for the topic itself. Here you can see a topic with a description and also all the plans connected to that topic. Back to the topics page, we can see all the different topics we have in the course, as well as an uncategorized topic. And this is where all the plans not connected to a topic will be displayed or shown. And as I mentioned earlier, this makes it easier to create new plans without having to connect it to a topic right away. Although we know that using topics is a great way to organize your plans, making it easier to understand the context of the plans, but also for looking back when, for instance, preparing for an exam or test. So how does this look for students? And what changes have we done to improve their experience? First, I'm gonna talk about some feedback we have gotten from them and also their teachers. First off is the course overview. We know that some students struggle to get an overview of the content being worked on right now. One thing we have heard is that it's hard to see how many resources are in the plan. You have even heard of teachers who don't want to add descriptions and learning objectives, since the student won't see that there are resources connected to the plan. That is obviously not great to hear, and that's something we want to fix. Also, the students want to know if they have completed the resources in the plan or not, meaning they have to check each resource manually. Another thing we have heard from teachers and students is that the students will rather use the task list on the right. Often this results in that the students will not read important information in the plan itself, losing the context of the resource and therefore not actually completing or understanding the content assigned to them. Then there's the plan page and how plans are displayed for the students. It's not very visually engaging and very text heavy. For younger students, we have learned that they struggle when it's so much text and not that many visual cues to look after a plan. Finding plans is in general difficult for both older and students, especially when there's many plans and, for instance, no topics, as in this example. So let's take a look how the new planner will be for the students. So in this demo, I'm a middle school student called Jimmy. And one of the courses I'm working on right now is science. When I open up the course, I can see which plan I'm working on right now. The plans will look very similar to what the teachers will see. The only difference is that the student can now see their progression in the plan, how many students they have completed and also not started on. And this is very important for students to quickly understand what they need to do to complete their tasks. When I open up the plan, I can also see the progression or the specific resources I have yet to do. So I can see that my eyes is a test that I have yet to complete. Students can continue working on this plan, meaning that they will go directly to where they left off. So if I, for instance, click this button, I will go to the last resource missing in the plan. But we also know that students use a task list often. And this is an issue we wanted to solve with the new planner. And we want to give the students the context of the task. If the resource and activity is, of course, connected to the plan. So when I click this test in the task list, I will see that this test is connected to the plan DI. And I understand that this plan is connected to the plan. So I can choose if I want to read more about the plan itself, or maybe take a look at how far I've gotten with the other resources connected to the plan. So let's take a look at how it's going to be when I finish the plan. So I can start the tests. And when I have completed the test, I get a message saying that I have completed the whole plan. I can choose to see the plan to make sure that I've finished all the resources. But also the reason we want to give that message is that we want to give the students a sense of achievement when it's finished, empowering them to complete their work. The plans page is also quite similar to what the teachers will see. From our user testing, we know that the students find this more engaging and also easier to find specific plans, especially when we use images in the plans itself. They don't have to search long to find the plan currently being worked on, or for instance, what the plan is for next week. It's also valuable for the students to quickly see which plan they have completed or not. If I take a look at the past plans, for instance, last week, I can see that this plan we worked on last week is a plan that I'm not finished with. And this is very, very good for instance, in situations where students are sick 1 week, for example, and they will find it much more easier to understand where they left off. So when I click this plan, I can see that, yes, I'm missing the last test in this plan. Now, Hanne will talk about a new feature we are planning to add to the planner.
Yes, as mentioned earlier, we are introducing a new feature to our planner because we do want teachers to be able to collaborate across courses and to create common plans, and that is not possible today. And some people refer to this as interdisciplinary learning or phenomenon-based learning, and this is a kind of learning that is very important in both Finland and in Norway. And the idea is that students need to apply different perspectives in order to study a topic. It's often project-based learning or problem-based learning or inquiry-based learning, but always with an interdisciplinary approach. And the goal is to prepare students to solve problems in real life. It's not enough to know the theories and concepts of different subjects if you can't make the connection between them. So with the new planner, we are allowing teachers in different courses to collaborate. Andreas, maybe you can show us how this could work.
Yes, I will. So going back to, Going back to Lisa, the high school teacher. In her course in natural science, we see that she has a notification on the shared tab. And what this shared tab is a place where all your collaborative plans are visible. So in this case, I've gotten an invitation from social science. I can choose to accept or decline the invitation. But in this case, I want to learn more about what the plan is and what content is in the plan. When I open up the plan, I will be able to see a preview of the plan, which helps me figure out if this plan is something for me or my course. As soon as I accept the invitation, I will be able to add content and change content, which also will be changed for all the connected courses. And on the left, you can see a list of all the connected courses and see that I'm sharing this plan with social science and history. As you can see here, social science are working on this plan right now, but history has chosen to not make it active yet for their students. Similar as history, my plan, this plan is not visible for my student yet. And I can choose myself when my students are going to work on this plan or not, and also add it to one of my topics in my course or create a new topic for my course. For plans in general, but also obviously plans, collaborative plans, we wanted to add a way for communicating with the teachers connected to the plan. This is especially important when collaborating with the plan, making it easier to discuss and share ideas between your colleagues. And this is, of course, available in a regular plan, not connected to any other courses, but it's also valuable if you are several teachers in the same course. So now this plan called climate change is in the course. It's not yet active. but I can choose to do so whenever I want. It's also signified with this text that the plan is connected to several courses. So I also want to share one of my previous plans, current plans. And I think how big is your ecological footprint is a very good plan to work with other courses, especially social science. So if I want to share this plan with social science, I can quickly go up here and choose Connect Course. This gives me the option of choosing the course I want to share the invitation with. In this case, the courses I see now is courses I'm a teacher in. But we also want to give the teachers an opportunity to invite other courses that you're not teacher in, because that's not something we want you to do necessarily, to be a teacher in many courses that you're not a teacher in, but just for the sake of collaboration. In this case, I want to find another course that I'm not a teacher in, and I can find it here. I could also search for these courses. And when I add this course, an invitation has been sent to the course, and one of its teachers can accept or decline the invitation. So, something that is important for us is the experience overall should be great. And even if you use itslearning on mobile or tablet, the experience should be great in those cases as well. And many teachers and students are using itslearning with their smaller devices. So it's very important for us that this will work and give the best experience possible to them. And with the new planner, this will be greatly improved on smaller devices, especially when it comes to reading or viewing plans. We also are working on making it possible to drag and drop, for instance, as a teacher in smaller devices as well.
Thank you, Andreas. Sorry. Well, we hope you have enjoyed this sneak peek into our new and improved planner, and also that you are curious to learn more. We hope that new teachers will find it easier to get started, and that progress indicators and overviews will make it easier for students to understand and navigate through plans. And maybe some of you also want to start creating plans with other teachers. Regarding the timeline, some schools will start piloting this new planner around March. It will be released to all of you during next summer. And this is such a big change, so we don't want to introduce it to you in the middle of your academic year. And I have seen some questions in the chat. I can assure you that you can reuse your old plans, even though we are introducing a new planner. You don't need to start creating your plans all over again. And I also have to emphasize that not everything we have demonstrated today will be available for back to school. There will be some updates to the planner during the next year. And if you have any comments or questions, please continue to use the chat, or if you prefer, you can always send us an email as well, because Andreas and I, we are always happy to discuss your needs in planning. And likewise, if you or your students would like to participate in usability tests, please reach out to us. And you can just send an email to me to hanne.lorentzen@itslearning.com. And finally, to get rich user feedback on our designs, we will appreciate your help today as well. If you have a couple of minutes and are curious to learn more about the new planner, please click the link that we will share with you in the chat. Thank you.
Thank you both, Hanne and Andreas. We've got a couple more questions just coming in at the bottom. Can one plan have more than one subject? For example, energy sources and the solar system could have similar plans.
Well, I guess you mean similar as different subjects, or do you mean different topics? Because I saw both questions actually in the chat. Can you please repeat it, Kate?
Yeah, so it says, can one plan have more than one subject? For example, energy sources and the solar system could have similar plans.
Yeah, well, each when you use this shared plans, or when you collaborate with other courses, you can of course have different courses. And if you saw, maybe you should share actually the screen again, Andreas, because for this, how big is your ecological footprint? Then we saw that you have this information to the left, where you kind of have this metadata, where you have topics, etc., for your different subjects. So here you can see to the left that you can have different topics and different courses in one and the same plan. Was that clear?
I can maybe add something here. We have looked into how it will work with several topics to a plan. That's something we have thought of, but we have kind of gone back to a single topic. But it's definitely something we are open to if we see a need to do so.
Okay, so next question. Do you plan to update the itslearning iPad application for iOS to mirror the changes of the web?
There will be some changes to the apps. Maybe you can answer a bit better, Hanne, of the teams working on this, but we are planning to, we want to add this new view for the apps as well. And I think the app which is currently working on is the parent app, and that's probably where it will be shown first.
Yeah, and I guess for iPads, maybe you could of course use the app there as well, but you can also use the the web browser. And I guess I know that there have been some issues, for instance, with drag and drop on iPads, and of course when we make this new planner, you have to be able to create a drag and drop when using your iPad.
Okay. What about change the titles of the plan fields and adding new?
Yeah, adding new fields. Yeah, and this is something we still want to support. Meaning that if, for instance, you want a section called teacher's notes in this plan, you will still be able to do so. You will be able to kind of customize the template of a plan, if you will. We haven't yet landed on if you are able to switch description over to the left side or not, stuff like that. But in general, you will be able to customize the plan. For instance, if you want learning objectives first, you will be able to do so.
Thank you. Next question. If a plan is made invisible to students, will the resources automatically be invisible?
That's a good question. And we think that you should be able to choose if that's something you want for your course. So ideally, yeah, you want to...
No, go ahead. I can...
Yeah, sorry. So we want to make it easier for teachers to not having to control all the plans when it's finished. So for instance, in this case, if I chose to deactivate the plan after the date is over, all the resources will also be deactivated.
Okay. Next question: when adding resources, will it continue landing in its own map, or can it be directed to my own mapping system in resources?
Yes, the simple answer is that you will be able to do both based on your preferences. We think in the current planner we have this this option of adding the resources directly to the topic folder, and we're thinking also by adding a second level, meaning your plans. So if, for instance, you usually make several resources and add them to different plans, those will be in a folder called, for example, the atmosphere in this case. But if you don't want this feature and want to control the structure of the resource folders yourself, then you will be able to turn that off.
Okay. Next question: will we still be able to make a public read-only web link to a full plan?
Yes, you will.
Okay. Next one: can you replace plan image with video?
Oh, that's an interesting one.
That's an interesting question. Yeah.
But at least we could say that that you will, of course, be able to add videos to the plan itself, for instance, as part of the description. But we haven't tested yet, Andreas, that we actually could add videos. It could be noisy if you had many videos and you go to the plans page, but that's something we are still researching, so we can look into it, but I'm not sure that we will do that.
Okay. Next question: we have a plan for each lesson. Is there an icon bank to choose from?
Icon bank or image bank? Is that maybe the question?
I guess it's right. Image bank, yes, yeah, because
yeah. So that's a very interesting question. That's something we do want, and we think it could be very great to have like an image bank or bank of illustration or whatever you want to use as a replacement for these images. It's not something we are planning to release next summer, but it's definitely something we want to add to the planner.
And it's on our wish list.
Okay. If the planning is in many courses, is the grade/feedback in all the courses?
Very good questions. And that's, I mentioned actually that we are having, doing some usability tests this week, and that's actually something we are investigating right now. Where should those, for instance, grades appear? And our assumption is that even though you are collaborating, you do want to have your grades in your own course, your own subject. But as mentioned, this is something we are investigating. So please share with us what you think would be the best there. You can just send us an email after if you would like, or participate in a usability test where we actually are focusing on that. Okay,
next one. What does it look like for the students if there is no picture on the plan?
That's a good question. Let's see if I have, not sure if I actually have an example.
Isn't it in POS?
No, but it's going to be quite similar to what the teachers will see. So this is an example of a plan not having an image. And the colors used here is the same used for a topic. For instance, this is a plan not using a topic, so therefore it's not having any visuals except this icon. Yeah, other examples. Yeah, so for students, if the plan doesn't have any images, this will be how it will look like.
Okay, next question. Will we still have access to the rich text editor in the description field in a plan?
Yes.
Yes.
Next question. it would be good if you can, as a teacher, choose which assignment test would be in what colours.
I'm not sure if I understand the question. Is it maybe the plants?
Or shared courses?
In a course.
In a course. Right. I guess I can try answer a question. I'm not sure if I'm going to answer the question. At least for topics, you will be able to change the colors as you wish. And this will be also reflected in the plans connected to the topic, as I mentioned earlier, with the images, or if you don't use any images. But for instance, if you are, let me find an example here. In a collaborative plan, you can see the colors here are used for to signify the course. So this is changed on a course level, meaning I've chosen green for my course, as you can see on the icon here.
And maybe we could add, Andreas, if you go back to that shared plan.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that was actually something we discussed in a usability test a couple of days ago, because you have these 3 different courses with their 3 different course colors. And maybe, and that teacher wanted, for instance, if that's the assignment here, if that was added by the natural science teacher, then they wanted it to be kind of green so that it should indicate that this was added by natural science. I'm not sure if that's could be also the question, but that's also something we are investigating.
Okay, move on to the next question. Will there be a place where the teacher can write homework for a plan?
You can, of course, as I know many teachers today, they have this, they add extra description fields or extra fields, which they name homework. And that will, of course, be possible to do here as well.
Okay. And next question. So can you choose between the old and new planner, or will it be compulsory?
I don't think you can choose. It's because it's a setting, so you can't choose to use, for instance, the new planner in one course and old planner in another course. But I can say that we are, because in this demo, you haven't seen the table view. And it's actually not our intention to remove it. That's something that's part of what we are going to add to it, because we know that some teachers, for instance, when they want to switch resources from one plan to another, then I think this is a good way to work. So we are not thinking of getting rid of it. So what we actually have shown today is more like a modernized view of list view.
Okay. Next question. Connected courses. How do we make sure plans are not changed by mistake?
Yeah, that's a good question. And I'm not sure if we, I think one issue here could be, for instance, that I know that in some courses there are many teachers involved. Maybe there are too many teachers that could be, in theory, involved in this common plan. So that's also why we discussed in the beginning, for instance, this, it was Lars Jakob that discussed it, that we can assign assignments to specific teachers, for instance, so that we are sure that maybe just the teacher Henry will work with this common plan in social science, etc. But if we're going to have, for instance, if there will be if someone tries to delete the plan, of course, they won't be able to do that right away. Then we need to have some kind of warning or to confirm, and maybe you can just delete it for your own course and not all courses.
Okay. Next question. Can you disable images?
And not show them at all?
Okay.
I would say no, but then we will see this this color for would you show this blue purple color for global warming?
Yeah, we're a bit reluctant to actually remove that, because even though if you don't use images, it's still a visual cue to the plan, and it's easier for your students to find the plan, even though it's not any images on it. So we want to prevent the planner to be too text heavy and hard to scan the page of the content.
Okay. We've got 2 minutes left. Someone is asking if you could show what the plan looks like in the calendar. Will the icon that a planning exists still be so small?
Yeah,
That's a good question.
Yeah.
And I don't actually have. Sorry.
Go ahead, yes.
I don't have any visuals to show you, but the plans viewed in the plan events will be improved as well. Sorry, in the calendar events will be improved. So they will be looking a bit similar to these cards, only smaller.
Yeah, and we do want to show the same information, no matter if students, for instance, go to plans by calendar or by using their phone, etc., or in the course. And I can say we haven't talked so much about calendar and plans, and we do know that integration needs to be improved. And today you actually have to have events to be able to see any plans at all. And of course, if you will create a lesson plan or a day plan and you don't have any events in your calendar, you will of course be able to see that plan in the calendar no matter what.
Okay, thank you both. So we have run out of time, I'm afraid. So any questions that have gone unanswered, we will look at those and hopefully get a reply to you via email.